You went through a lot of changes in your life.
Yes, I have.
But you totally, instead of kind of wallowing and just saying, oh, yeah, it is what it is, you're like, okay, this is my life now, and I'm going to make it what I make it.
Make the best of it. You just got to pull up your pants. You just got to move forward in life and make the best and try to understand why you're in this chapter, and you realize why you are, and it's such a beautiful thing.
So I think that's great, but so many people you see major things happen, whether, death, divorce, moving, job loss, all that. Things happen and they just kind of shut down. So what made you decide to say, you know what, I'm starting over. I'm recreating life the way I want it. What was it, something that switched, or is that just how you're wired?
No, I think it's part of the growth system. Like, I won't deny, yes, initially when you do go through a death or divorce, you do shut down. You do shut down, and you need that time to shut down. You need that, instead of jumping on to the next thing, you really need that time, that solitude. And you have to remember, solitude and loneliness are two separate things. So being in solitude is a time to really try to understand yourself, understand a situation, and really try to learn the lesson from it all. And so it's going to have its highs and lows. I always call it like tides. Like, you'll be really strong, you're moving forward, and you hit a wave, and it kind of like pushes you back. But the moment the waves hit, you get farther and farther apart. And you just have to kind of keep pushing through. And then you see, the more you put yourself out there, the more you put yourself outside your comfort zone, the more you see why this had to happen, how it happened. You just see with much clearer eyes and appreciate things so much more.
It's true. And I like the way you said that solitude is different than loneliness, because I do think solitude is where we learn about us and where we go introspective and kind of get it, because when crazy things happen or life changes happen, we all go in that funk for a little bit. I was ticked. I'm divorced, so I was ticked off. I was mad. I was all the things. You get all the emotions coming in, but it is the solitude that kind of helps, if you let it, helps reground you to figure out, all right, what's next.
I think people are scared of the solitude because, and I admit I had that scare. So I travel alone. So that's been my biggest push in this next chapter, is challenge myself, do things outside my comfort zone. So I take at least biannual solo trips. And it's everyone's like, oh, it's amazing, you inspire me, and it's fun and it's amazing. It's amazing, but you put yourself in a vulnerable place. But that's when you see the beauty of it all. That's when you really understand yourself and take that time to comprehend all your feelings. And you have to go through that, process everything to be able to move forward.
Did you always know that you were gonna do that? Like, when you're in the solitude, because I follow you on social, so I saw the trip you took recently, and I'm sitting there watching it going, oh my God, this is so cool. First of all, I was jealous because it was a cool trip.
It was.
But then I'm sitting there going, oh, I don't know if I could do that by myself. I mean, and I love travel, I love adventure, but I like to have somebody with me just to kind of experience it with me. But I think that was what made your trip so fun to watch from the outside and follow, is I could feel the new experiences and the stepping out of the comfort zone, like through following your track. Scared me for me, but for you, I was so freaking excited. I was like, this is so cool. But like, have you always just said, okay, this is what's out of my comfort zone, I'm going to do it? Or did it, was somebody behind you pushing Nooshin out the door going, try it?
It was like, I just didn't want to wait in life anymore for anybody else. I couldn't stop living, waiting to find someone to travel with, to find a companion. I just had to keep living. And I love to travel. So I'm like, I'm not going to wait around and waste any more precious time that we have on this earth. So I was like, so I did take my first trip post-divorce, and it was nerve-wracking as anything. Like, it's weird. Like, as we talked about this before, I've traveled before while I was married, took a trip, but it's different when you realize you don't have that person back home. You don't have that backup, in a sense. So it was a different experience. But every trip I've taken, every year I do at least an annual big trip, to celebrate life and to make it more lively by pushing myself outside. I could do things I thought I never could do. It shows me how much stronger I am, but also it shows me how weirdly, I'm not alone on these trips. Every time I've gone, when you just learn to let go of control, because I used to be a control freak, you just learn to let go of control.
Girl, you are speaking to me and 98% of the audience here, because I think we're so much like that.
I'm a planner, so I'm like, I need to know, or I'm in control, think of the worst case scenario. And I've learned, life has humbled me that you don't have control. You just have to let it go. And when you do let it go, every time I got to a point on a trip that I'm like, okay, where do I go? What do I do? Someone magically shows up and is like holding my hand, helping me out, or every single time. And so when you experience that and you see that, when you're more vulnerable, because you're by yourself. If I was with someone else, I would not see any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But when you do, it's just amazing that you just see, you get closer to humanity. You just, really.
And I think I love that. I mean, that's such a good point. And I think as, we mentioned your mom, you have teen boys.
Yes.
I'm a girl mom, so you're told, but those teenage years are tough. So we're so used to being the planner and taking care of things and making sure everyone's okay.
Yeah.
That I don't think we often, as moms, I mean, it could be, I don't know what you think, but as moms, I feel like a lot of times we just are so used to do for everybody else that we don't always think about us.